Real good. Alright. Let's get this going.
I was watching one of my old ZVT replays there.
Things where you built Zerglings and then the Terran player exited the game.
Yeah, I played a Masters Terran and, made Zerglings and won the game. It was actually it was close. My Infestors popped out just in time, because my Lings alone would not have killed this first push. But literally 2 fungal growths means I stopped the push, so.
It's pretty balanced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. Alright, so we'll start up. For those of you who are in chat or looking at the VOD, I don't know, I just made up a random name and we seem to just call OP or IMBA on everything, so I figured late night IMBA discussions with myself, Duckville, sitting here on the cam, hello, and in the chat, not in the chat, the other folks we have are our resident Terran / Protoss, which would be Mr. MLG Wiggin.
Hello everybody.
He's, where are you at again? You're at like Masters for both of those, I think?
That is correct. I have 2 accounts and both of them are Masters.
There you go. There you go. And our resident Protoss and Zerg and also Terran, or are you?
I have not played very much Terran.
Yeah.
Mostly Protoss and Zerg.
It's like you'd like to play the harder races, I think. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is
Whoa.
true. Play the races where you have to try to win games.
He likes to play the races where you don't have to leave your own base to win the game.
That's true.
That's
Actually,
somewhat true.
that is so true about Protoss. That is exactly the way that I play. Like when people watch my replays, they're like, "Dude, you don't ever attack," and I'm like, "Well, I've got 2 warp prisms dropping DTs all over the fucking shop. What do you expect me to do? I'm fine here. Thank you." But that is Mr. MLG Wiggin, not Wiggin, Omerta. He's our resident Zerg Protoss and Never Terran.
I'm the important one.
Well, that's true. I mean, we also have Wiggin again, just in case. Yeah. We're going to have a look. This is, again, as I've mentioned on Reddit and everywhere, this is not a totally serious show at all. We're just going to be doing some replay watching, some high-level stuff. If you want to send in your own replays, please feel free. Happy to look at anyone's sorts of replays. It doesn't have to be, we don't have to be watching MVP's replays. We can be looking at some other folks' stuff as well, perhaps giving you some tips. We're not charging because it's not proper coaching, but yeah, just ask questions if you're in the chat. Happy to. I've got my other screen up with the chat and everything rolling, yeah. So we'll be starting out here. This is actually a really insane game. Thank you to one of the players who sent this through to me. This is I'm actually going to do a cast of this game tomorrow as well. So if anyone wants a caster version of this game, you can have a look tomorrow. But this is 2 Australian players. We've got TT Pig, who is like a pretty well-known Australian player. He's going to be starting down in the bottom right. And our pink Zerg up in the top left is a newer player to XG King. It is Pokerface, aka we've got him as Poker here. So this will be a pretty cool ZVZ. Dudes, you ready to rumble with the play button?
Let's do it.
On 3, 1, 2, 3. Alright, so ZVZ on this map, obviously, Omerta, you'll probably be a little tiny bit more of the expert here in this regard.
I mean, it's a nice map just in general for macro games. I think defensive Baneling in general will be really, really good here. Just at least early. You've got 2 nice ramps that you can put Banelings, like you can put like 1 or 2 Banelings at the top of the ramp in your main, and 1 or 2 Banelings with your Zerglings at the top of the other ramp with a Spine Crawler, and be pretty safe against anything. And then, transition into either Roach or Muta, whatever you feel like doing.
Yeah, I've actually seen quite a few ZVZs on this map. One actually, again, another Australian-based game was Moonglade against T-Gun, and Moonglade got some really interesting builds going. He had some like Baneling Hydra and some random stuff like that, so it was really, really interesting to see some of that. But yeah, so we'll find out what these dudes are up to.
Yep. Let's see. T-Pig going for gas first. And looks like Poker might be wanting to go hatch first. Yeah, so...
I think it's a bit more standard at this sort of level to grab that hatch first, yeah.
It can be. I think gas first is just a better opening ZVZ. I think Zergling speed is super good, and like just to put pressure on and take a little bit of map control, and then you have the option to go Banling and go for a kill if you see something.
Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, I used to go hatch first most of the time in ZVZ, but I really like gas first now. I think it's just better overall.
So it's a bit more versatile when you when you're opening up, as opposed to hatch first when you've got the economy there. Like eventually you'll have that economy, but you'll have a little bit slower defensive measures, and obviously you won't be able to commit to an attack. As you said, if you see a certain sign, like whether someone has taken their gas or not, or whether they've done a hatch first or something like that, you won't be able to capitalize on that sort of sign.
Yeah. But I wouldn't be surprised if T-Pig goes and scouts the hatch first, and then I mean, he could do a Baneling nest if he wanted to, but he could definitely delay the Baneling nest and just make a good amount of drones, and just kind of keep pressure on the speedlings to try and catch up. I mean, he's a little bit behind at this point, but not like irrecoverably behind at all.
Yeah, because I think it's sort of, once that hatch is established and you have a couple of lings out, that's when that hatch first is actually... it sort of takes advantage of a speedling first, sort of ling first, is that right?
Yeah, definitely. You see, he's going to try and get a spine crawler out. The only other problem with this is that if you get the hatch first, obviously you're going to have a larva advantage for a while, and the hatch first player can follow up with a really strong like roach attack, or even ling baneling, just because they have more larva and they can just kind of like shove that advantage down your throat.
Right.
So I think T-Pig will probably just like get a spine or something. And yeah, he's getting Spain in this now, but just at least pressure with these Zerglings. Oh, he's even going to get a drone kill. So this is really good. Just do as much as you can.
Oh wow, spine crawler not fat enough to block off the ramp.
Yeah, and this is the great thing about going speed first, is like your speed is done for like almost like 2 minutes. I think it's a little more than 2 minutes before your opponent will have speed, and this is just like obnoxious to deal with. Like when your slow Zerglings are chasing around fast Zerglings.
I feel like... Sorry, go on.
No, I was just commenting, he got 2 drones in the middle of those 4 lings before he lost any of them. And he got a third, wow.
Yeah, total of 4 now, yeah.
Yeah, 4 drones. Like, I definitely think he's made it worth it. Because he's still making more lings, but he made some drones behind it, getting the spine now. Yeah, I think T-Pig's in really good shape.
I sort of feel, you know, like when you get when we're watching those lings run around, it's kind of like when you're a Protoss and somehow some lings get into your main, and it's kind of like, all right, they're not always going to be able to do something, but I can't catch them, and it's really friggin' annoying.
Yeah. Speedlings are good units.
Interesting that, so that Baneling nest, so perhaps Poker's going to head up for that, that sort of thrust with the Baneling Ling and the extra production you were talking about?
Yeah, I mean, I think you just kind of have to get it, because if they just make a ton of Lings and Banelings, like, you need the Baneling nest. Ooh, sneaky Banelings.
Oh wow, keeps one of the lings alive, and in fact keeps all of those banelings alive after that ling attack. So Pig's got a nice sort of wall here with that Evo chamber, and then the spine there to get some good damage. He's got the second spine at the back as well, and also getting a Roach Warren.
Yep. Yeah, so it looks like... sorry, I can't even remember his name now. Poker's going for Lair before Roachborn, so that's kind of just telling me that he wants to go Muta this game. Maybe Infestor, but more than likely Muta. And that'll leave T-Pig like a little bit of a timing, but there's going to be, I think, just this one Spine Crawler right now, yeah. You might want to get a second, even a third Spine Crawler. But yeah, I'm pretty sure we're going to see Mutas out of Poker.
Looks like he's grabbed that third and a fourth gas as well, so... Macro hatch there for Pig as well.
I really like Mutas in this matchup. I'm glad, because, like, seriously, yeah, there's the Spire. Nobody was going Muta for, like, ever in ZVZ. And I'm glad that people are starting to, because kind of like even in, well, I guess people do just make a ton of Mutas in ZBP, but in this matchup especially, you can just make a couple of Mutas and, like, I don't know, 10 or so, and just take so much map control while you tech to like Infestor and get more bases. Super, super strong.
What do you reckon, Wiggin? What's next?
I'm kind of wondering why Pig is building all these roaches at this point. I guess he must be trying. Oh, he's trying to hit a little timing +1, maybe. But what I'd really like to see is once Poker gets that first wave of mutas out, I'd like to see him double expand behind that because he should have so much map control. Like unless Pig had some kind of layer timing attack, like based around infestors or hydras, there's almost no way that he's going to be able to move out for the longest time. And obviously he's not doing that at this point, so...
Looks as if Pig's
yeah, and
prepared.
he's already got one of the expansions.
Yeah, yeah.
The nice thing about mutas in this situation is you don't really have to do damage with them, right? They just give you so much map control and just completely take away Pig's ability to actually attack.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty common that we've also seen that in these sorts of battles you actually get those sort of timings, like which Pig may have been going for here with that that roach timing with the plus. Was he getting +1? Yeah, he got +1. And you see a lot of those timings where it's kind of like, all right, this dude's about to get mutas out, and once that happens, things are going to totally turn around. But for the moment, while the muta player is getting the mutas, he's totally vulnerable to an attack. But I think that's something which Poker did really nicely here, was he got up a lot of spines and he's got a lot of lings there as well, just to sort of make sure that he's prepared in case that was coming.
Yeah, I mean, there's kind of no reason not to. Like, making a bunch of Zerglings isn't really going to help you against a huge roach attack, but a bunch of spines will.
Yeah.
So...
it's a nice little buffer with the lings, just to have them there to sort of block the roaches from either getting up the ramp to a good position to hit the spines, or just to sort of block them in so they can't hit all of the spines in quick succession. So, and holy cow, that is a lot of spore crawlers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really what Poker wants to see, though, because like if you look at his map vision, he pretty much knows that Pig doesn't have a third up, and his third has been mining for a while, so there's a timer going on right now where Pig really has to make some moves in order not just fall completely behind in this game.
Yep.
Like, just look at the drone count, that kind of tells the story of this game.
Yeah, he's way ahead.
71 to 46. Pretty big.
Yeah.
I do like this from Pig. He's sort of zoning out this little section here. He built those extra spore crawlers, and he's now moved down to say, all right, I'm sort of controlling this zone. It's not perfectly safe, but you know, it's a decent kind of protection there while he moves down to take the third. Because obviously, if you just move down there with roaches, maybe like a couple of queens or something random like that, you're never going to be able to hold that against even just this small sort of group of mutas. Like I say, small. Like it's up to what is it, 14 meters now, so...
for a muta flock in StarCraft 2, that's kind of small.
Yeah, that's true.
Our players love, like, making 30 of the freaking things.
Yeah, I think I saw a post on Reddit the other day where someone was like, oh yeah, you just make a few mutas, just make 30, and then it's all good. And I was like, oh yeah, just 30. Yeah, I'll just make 10 Colossus at once, that's all good. That's all good. But we do have the Infestors out. So we've got some fungal growth that could go down on these mutas, and then the obvious, the interesting part would be that there's not really much other anti-air here for Pig, like apart from those spore crawlers everywhere. He's you'd have to catch the mutas in a good spot for, what's he got, 3 queens here. I suppose that's not too bad. They do have their upgraded attack, so can do a little bit of damage. They'll have to probably catch like 2 fungals. How many fungals is it to kill a muta? I think it's like 4 or something.
It's a good amount.
Yeah, it's pretty decent. So
yeah, I think
30. Yeah, it's gonna be 5.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's 5 because they'll
of
regen.
Right.
I do like the decision to get those infestors, because he's got to know he's behind at this point by a lot, and if there's one unit in the Zerg arsenal that can let you make a comeback, especially against a muta player, it's some key fungals. So I'm a little bit disappointed in poker though. I think he's being a little too passive this year. Like, he should be able to feel this advantage and try to push it and take it, and either take more of an advantage or just go break him while he tries to take this third. But he's kind of missed an opportunity there. Now there's just so much fungal that it's really hard to attack into that.
Now Hydras are coming out as well from Pig, so he's made a little bit of a switch there to make sure he's got some more anti-air. Not to mention the huge DPS that they do if they have the protection from the roaches and that sort of thing.
Nice queen snipe there.
I think there it is. A couple of overseers here from Pig back in his main. He's got 3 which just morphed in. What are we going to use them for?
I guess he's just making sure there's no burrowed roach shenanigans, or even catching burrowed infestors.
That's true.
Because he does have to be very careful. A lot of his army strength is locked into those mutas, and some fungals could really just ruin that.
Yeah.
I do like that he's got him moving out again. He's not just keeping him with his armies. He's going to go hunt for that 4th, and should be able to cancel it.
We have the Great Wall of Poker here.
That is a handful of spine crawlers.
A handful. 17 spine crawlers all set up here, and it looks as if we got a little battle down to the south. Fungals everywhere, roaches everywhere. All getting a bit gooey.
Really good to see Zerg players doing this too, because there's just like no reason not to, other than just being lazy. Throwing down this many spine crawlers at this point in the game.
Yep.
And there was a little counter up towards Pig's attempted 4th base here, so he's going to be a bit slower on his 4th. Meanwhile, Poker's got his 4th down the southern side. All of his bases are mining quite nicely. The natural is getting low. The main is pretty much done now as well. I was going to say, like, oh, there it is. Brilliant fungal from Pig catching out the mutas. In fact, he's probably going to just kill all these mutas. And good night. Wow.
Yep. Something really interesting
okay,
going on right now, too. Oh, never mind. I was going to say, Poker was making 2 more spires for some reason, but he canceled one of them.
The old 3 spire build.
Yeah.
Wow, there's something you don't see every day. An overseer dropping a couple of changelings while getting attacked by infested Terrans and getting fungal growth. That's pretty insane. Not something you see every day. So we got some Hydras protecting the 4th, and also a 5th going up for Pig as well. So he's trying to take his advantage here. Like, obviously he's got a lot of vision with the overseers just covering that middle section. Not to mention he has he had the watchtowers. There we go. He's got the watchtowers as well, so he's got a lot of vision, and effectively he's got some protection against any further mutas that might come out. I don't think we actually have any more, do we? No. Ooh.
No, it's kind of past the time. It looks like he's going to be going for broodlords, which is a good decision, but it's a decision he should have made like 5 minutes ago. Sort of missed his... At one point in this game, he had a really strong opportunity to get that quick hive and just really punish Pig, but he's kind of he's just missed that timing. So now this is more of a defensive thing that he's doing.
Yep. And we've got a roach drop in the overlords here. Not something you see every day. I think we were talking about it last week when Omerta was talking. You were talking about the how Zergs just never really do this type of thing. You don't have to come in with a massive doom drop and, you know, drop like 83 lings and 53 roaches or something. Just drop in these sorts of small packs of units and you can do some damage. Like, he could effectively hit the Spire if he's quick enough, although it doesn't look like he is going to be.
Yep.
But
Oh, we've got some Broodlords on the march in the middle.
and a Brofester
Oh,
hit
man.
squad.
Nice. I love the Brofester hit squads, man. So strong. Too strong. Man, that was a scary army from Poker, though.
That is a ridiculous army. He's got so many infestors here covering these Broodlords. No queens though. I would have liked to see a few queens here. Like, it's obvious the pig's going to attack eventually, probably put down all these infestors as we can see, and this is just absolutely insane.
Yeah, Pig's just trying to buy time for his own Spire. Oh, infested Terran spam. I like that. Just, I can't actually tell what's killing what right now.
We need them to have better colors. Damn you, Blizzard.
Well, there's a lot less things in the middle that aren't infested Terrans now.
Yeah.
But that's about all I can tell.
That was crazy. So that was... What was that? So that was a bunch of roaches and hydras against... and some infestors against a whole heap of broodlords and some infestors. So it looks as if Pig's remaxed pretty quickly here. He's obviously got a slightly smaller rally length to get to. So he's doing nicely. How important is killing these infestors here? He's killed a couple of them on the way back.
Really important. These are units you don't want to lose.
A lot of gas cost goes into that. And like, he is, like, they're both on, well, Pig now on 5 bases, so he's got his 10 gas that he's mining from. Oh, actually, it's starting to drop off now. The main's just losing its gas, but
That heroic little roach drop still going on, by the way. It's done pretty good amount of damage now.
Very nice. I think with those
I think at this point,
infestors
though,
go-
he needs to be trying to snipe tech instead of drones.
doing it
Yeah.
Liquid Hero style.
Yeah, killing a Greater Spire is always just so strong.
And there's how much larva out right now. He kills a handful of drones. It just doesn't matter.
I can tell you. Hang on. How many larvae? Oh, I can't bother counting that. There's a lot.
There's a shitload. That's the,
Yeah. A metric
technical
shit.
term.
A metric shit ton of larva.
Another roach drop going down in the south.
Yep. He's probably going to
Good
be
to
able
see
to
him
take out
really
this
nice
hatch. Yeah, they got 2-2.
He's dropping the natural again, too. No, not just the natural.
And it looks as if Poker's going to again try and push through with those Broodlords. He's going to contend with one at Corruptor. Look out. How hardcore is that guy?
That Corruptor is getting after it.
And we've got Fungals, Beach Balls, and
All those
Broodlings.
fungals on those infestors.
That was huge.
Yeah.
And it looks as if Poker's going to come out and at least clean up this base. I don't think he's going to be able to push too much further. Like, he's lost a lot of those infestors that he had. And he's going to need to resupply on roaches, it looks like. Yeah. Oh, he's resupplying on 10 infestors. That's pretty interesting.
Well, in the meantime, Pig has just done a ton of damage with this drop at the bottom. Killed a hatch.
Yeah.
He's probably going to kill another one. So it's just kind of become a desperation push for Poker. Because he is not mining much at all right now.
There's now a heroic 2-kill queen in the main of Poker. Just took down a roach. They get that hatchery.
She's got 2-3, man. They do ridiculous amounts of damage. Not to mention they have retarded range. I still cannot get over how far queens can shoot against air. It's insane.
Yeah, it is quite strong.
And so this is what we're kind of seeing with Poker's attack fizzling out here is just sort of one of the inherent problems with being overly reliant on infestors. Is once they're out of energy, your attack just kind of stops. Like there's no way he's going to be able to keep up, especially after losing these hatches. Keep up the kind of pressure he needs to. Well, he has there's that remax of 10 infestors.
Look at that.
Potentially damage.
That's 15 infestors altogether. Some of them are almost, maxing out on their energy. In fact,
that is a lot of hurt.
16 now. You could easily kill a base. Wait. Oh, I was about to say I thought these overseers were pigs. I was like, why isn't he killing them? So Pig looking really good.
It's too bad that Pig hasn't been able to get more hatcheries up, because if he had even just one more mining base right now, he'd be in such good shape.
Yeah.
But as it is, these infestors, if they're played right, could actually just win over the game.
Gotta be very careful. So what do you do here with the infestors? Do you wait until this hatch at the 4th is finished, or do you just try and get it and deny it totally?
I would split them up. I would take 4 or 5 and try to snipe the only mining hatch, and the rest I would just try to delay Pig from pushing the entire time and try and keep your own hatches up.
He has denied the 4th, but he is going to lose his own base down in the inner side here, and Pig with some great micro. But there go the infestors again. They've dropped into the 3rd and saying hello. This is probably the time where he's going to try and hit some of that tech. He's still got a decent amount of energy left on all of these infestors here. Surprised he's not... Why wouldn't you infestatoran the actual tech, like the roaches, the infestation pit, and that sort of thing?
Looks like he's just infestatoraning all the things.
Yeah.
I don't think he really cares what he gets.
That's
I
true.
don't particularly like the decision to go into the thing. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. But there's only one mining base. Just go over to that cliff and throw some infestatoran down there.
Well, it's also...
That's all you really
I don't agree with it at all, man, because these infestors are trapped now, and they're all gonna die. And that is way too much to lose when your economy is hurting. You cannot afford to lose all these infestors.
He's just going to lose all of them, as he said. They're sitting on 39 drones for Poker and 27 for Pig, and obviously Pig has this, the base just down in this inner side, which is still looking good. Pig, meanwhile, still harassing that 3rd down at the bottom side, and is almost going to kill it. No, he's not.
I think losing all those festers is actually just... I think that's game over. Because now Pig has a 16 infestor advantage. Let me see,
That's a few infestors.
Oh, there's 5 out. Yeah.
17 and 5.
He's up 12 infestors, and they all have so much energy. I don't know. With his economy the way it is, I don't know how Poker can overcome that infestor advantage.
He's not, because he's just losing his infestors right now.
Oh,
yeah.
Dear.
Well, I think the story of this game has been Poker getting himself into a good position and then just kind of throwing it away a little bit.
Yeah, well, props to Pig too. Pig was all over the place, dropping, and Poker just kind of didn't handle it as well as he probably could have. But well played by Pig for sure.
That's some really good harass as well. He's making sure he's utilizing some of these roaches as well. He just saved 7 of them, and of course in these late game situations, as we talked about in the previous show, we were talking about utilizing your energy-based units, and then also with Grubby, when you're sort of making sure that you're keeping up a lot of those just making sure you're being very efficient with your units at this stage as well, when you're really suffering in the economy. As I said, both of these guys sitting in 30 drones each basically. So, and it looks as if Poker's he's lost that base. He's going to lose some of these as part of the Great Wall of spine crawlers. Going to lose that. And there is a GG.
Yeah, now we're basically just there's the GG.
So
also for ZBZ, that was a good one, man. Normally I don't like watching ZBZ, but that was a neat little comeback by Pig. 'Cause he was in a world of hurt for a while there.
Yeah, he was really troubled. Behind, he was behind. What was it? It was 20 drones at one point or something like that. Not to mention the extra bases. It was almost, what was it? I think it was 4 to 3, and also 3 to 2 at one point. And then you had those mutas coming out. You had to sacrifice a few of the drones to get some of the spore crawlers down to make sure he was defended against that. Um, and yeah, so it's a good job.
Good find on that replay, man.
Have a look at it.
I think the lesson learned here is make more investors. Just win.
Always.
Make infestors acquire wins.
Certainly seems the way. And also, I'm still... Like, we've seen it a few times in GSL, and a few MLG matches come to mind where a ZVZ has gotten to the stage of Broodlords. I'm still actually not sold on Broodlords. Like, they seem to be, much like they are in ZVP and ZVT, it's kind of that thing, just because they're so slow, that you have to do that sort of damage with it. Like, a lot of the people, like, when you talk about a cheese, you talk about, you know, early sorts of stuff, like a DT rush, or... you know, like like some sort of weird multi-racks opening for a Terran or something, and that's sort of that thing where you have to do a lot of damage to make sure it works, otherwise you're just dead. I sometimes feel, though, Broodlords are the same thing. Like, you get to that stage, and unless you've got ridiculously good macro, like you've got like 6 bases up and you've got drones all over the shop, just because they're almost guaranteed to die in some circumstances, that they're kind of that unit where, you know, you need to do something or you're dead.
Yeah. Well, the thing about ZVZ, and I think Idra talked about this like months ago, is that like nobody should ever really be able to attack anybody in Zerkers, because of the way you can remax so quickly, and you know, you're doing it from your own hatchery that's right there. It should be like, and even with infestors being able to fungal things, it should be almost impossible to attack. So what Broodlords function as is sort of that sledgehammer you can use to just bash your opponent over the head.
Yeah.
Once you have an advantage.
Yeah.
And so that's why during that game, at one point it was like 190 supply to like 140, and poker was up like at least a base, maybe more. That's when those Broodlords should be coming out, instead of 5-10 minutes later, when they're both maxed. Then the Broodlords aren't as effective. So that's kind of what you want to think of for the Broodlords. Just like in ZVT, you want to break a turtle in Terran. That's when you get the Broodlords. Same kind of concept.
Yeah. Well said.
Alright, well, we've got a little less Zerg in this game. We've got the PVT from EPI Sticks, Epidemic, Mr. Sticks, one of the younger players in the scene. You guys want to load that up? Let me know when you're good.
Alright, I'm loading it up now. And just because I guess this is a good time to mention this, if you're in the chat, or just if you're watching this on VOD at some point, hit us up on Twitter if you want us to check out your replays, and we'll probably be able to go a little bit more in depth on them and stuff like that, about, you know, build orders, things like that. So let us know.
Yeah, we're sort of looking. We're just going to look at these sort of higher level stuff. Like this is sort of masters and high masters, and then GM, that sort of stuff, and sort of look a little bit more on the concepts, not as much about the sort of the nitty-gritty analysis stuff. So if you have a replay or something that you want to see, send it through, or let one of us know on Twitter. It should be, I think I put the Twitters on. Yes, I did. So they're just down there in the side. Just let us know, and we'll hit them up for the next show. Alrighty, so we are here with Buffalo Beast against EPI Sticks. You guys ready?
Yeah. I like that guy's name.
Alright, we'll go on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Alright. I'm gonna go ahead. Oh, God, please send your workers to mine.
Alright, so
probably, like, the Terran player was probably taking a moment to realize that this map actually just fucking sucks for Terrans.
Yeah.
Unless you're all ending on 2 base.
I think, I was doing 16 Nexus every single game against Terran on this map, because it's like, what are you going to do? If you proxied something in the middle? If you haven't, then I'm going to just keep this base, because, you know, even some of those weird things, like if someone sees the quick Nexus and then does a 3 racks or something like that straight off the bat with, you know, with just Marines or something, you still can hold it off. Sometimes you may lose the Nexus, but, you know, as I've said time and time again, like, a lot of people ask me about 16 Nexus because I do it so often, And people are like, what if you lose the Nexus? So I'm like, well, dude, you've had double chronos effectively for that whole time until the Terran takes it down, and you've got double probe production. So even if you lose the Nexus, as long as you get a few of those probes out, then you should be good.
Yeah, this is one of those maps where the distance between spawns is such that it's gonna be almost impossible for a Terran to use barracks pressure in order to cancel a fast Nexus. But one thing that Terran player can do that's extremely effective on this map that I love doing is reactored Hellion openings are just amazing because you have a really hard time stopping Hellions from just doing whatever the hell they want because you have no ramp going into your main and it's kind of wide. So you can, if you're clever with your Hellions, you can sneak those things in and just do a ton of damage. And to be perfectly honest, if you get Hellions into the Protoss player's base, it's kind of like Brood War with Vultures. If there's stuff in their min line, like they've basically just lost the game. You get like 4+ probes, they're gonna just die to whatever 2 base all-in you feel like doing as Terran. So I would hope that we'd see something like that out of Beast, but he's not getting gas.
No,
so
no gas. He doesn't approve.
Buffalo Beast letting me down already.
Exactly. What is with this guy?
So what looks like a 1-gate expand from
Does indeed.
from Styx so far.
Styx, one of the younger players up in the scene. I can't remember. He's probably going to crucify me for not remembering, but I think he's only 15. So one of the youngins. We got a few. In fact, EPI actually have a couple of youngins. They've also got Boyo, who's a Zerg, if I remember correctly. He's also a really young dude as well. So.
Is he the one at MLG?
Yes, he was.
I think
I think he's a Protoss.
Oh, he's a Protoss. Sorry, there we go.
Pretty sure he's a
My bad.
talented kid though. I got to ref a couple of his games.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's good.
They call him.
I wish this game came out when I was 15, so I didn't have to have a job and stuff. I could just play all day.
According to Styx, they call him the Anakin Toss because he looks exactly like the young version of Anakin in Phantom Menace. So.
Yeah, I could see that. I don't know if I'd want to be called that, but I could.
He's not an actor, he's a puppet. Anyway, so we got obviously the 1 Rax CC from Buffalo Beast. He's going to pick up an extra 3 racks. You don't always see an extra 3. It's normally just 2, if I'm not mistaken. It's kind of.
Yeah, I think this
is a safer version, yeah.
Yeah, this is a safer version you need to do in order to be. In order to just not get run over by 2 base all-ins, especially on this map where there's a lot of room to come up into your natural. Force fields against bunkers are gonna be really good. So
yep, we see a lot of that.
I like the idea. I like going up to 4 barracks, unless you're going for some really quick like select style like medevac play.
Right.
I do like going up to 4 barracks before gas. I think it's a good decision.
And Stick's going for he told me he likes to do a bit of the one gate expand feast style, or MC style, some people are calling it as well, where you actually just grab a whole bunch of stalkers and try and pressure with that. And I think he's just going to pick that up now. We can see that he's already got 2 stalkers out, and those extra 3 gates. Extra 2 gates, sorry.
Yeah, I like that style. You can really punish. It's one of those things that'll really catch a Terran player if he's being greedy. Like if he's going for 3 or even two racks into factory and doesn't have enough bunkers, you can actually just do a shitload of damage.
Yep.
But Buffalo Beast is gonna be prepared here.
He should be fine.
Yeah,
yeah, he's got a lot of
like
marines.
it, though. Gives you a lot of map presence, a lot of map control. You're not really gonna get stuck up by anything like that, and it doesn't cost you too much in order to do it. So it's almost like a free scout too. You immediately know what the Terran player is doing. Like he should be able to walk up that ramp, see 1 bunker, see all those marines, and realize that it's at least 3 barracks before gas.
Yep. And pretty decent micro. They're keeping these stalkers alive quite a while. In fact, pulling back some of those hurt ones, very much like feast style.
Yep, pretty good. And this is just costing the Terran player mining time.
Yep.
And costing him marines, and not costing the Protoss player anything but a little bit of APM. So,
yep. Really
good decision to go do that kind of poke.
I actually, I played 2 PVTs just before on the Korean ladder, And of course, because every single Korean will do some sort of version of 111, I actually I did this exact same thing, and like you walk up with the initial 2 stalkers and a zealot, and they're like, I have, I've only got like 5 marines, so you kill some of the marines, you come back with like the extra 6 stalkers or something like that, and it's like, I've still only got a few marines because I'm busy trying to get a bloody banshee or a raven or something stupid like that. So I actually got some free wins off that, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's definitely a way you can deal with that kind of style, because you basically have free reign until a tank comes out.
Yep.
The Terran player just can't really deal with you. So I don't know. Omerta has a pretty poor opinion of stalkers, but I think he's crazy.
If he's there.
Oh, is he on? Oh, he can't hear me ribbing it. Yeah, I guess he got DC.
Yeah, let me see.
Omerta, how's your internet, buddy?
Oh no, sorry, you did DC. Ah! Whoops.
I did invite you to the call.
No, I need to do it.
No, you don't.
Whoops.
Skype noob.
There we
So, opinion on stalkers.
I did not see because I had to go and reset my modem and stuff.
Just
what happened?
general opinion on stalkers.
In general,
Go.
I think stalkers are very flimsy units. In general, they have a lot of. They're a good utility unit, but.
Okay. No, he just did a little bit of a 3-gate. Well, he did 1 gate FE into like a 3-gate, just a bunch of stalkers to poke at the Terran Terran ramp. Did some decent damage. So,
Okay.
we were just talking about how that's a really good decision, especially on a map like this, because it gives you a free scout. It'll really punish a greedy Terran player, and it just affords you a lot of map control. So
Yeah, and just by looking at his base, it looks like he went Twilight before Robo. Is that right?
He did both at the same time.
Both at the same time? Okay. Okay.
Are you back in the game, or are you just watching the stream?
Yes.
Okay. We're at the
No, I'm back.
we're at 11 minutes 30. He's about to attack up into the potential 3rd base of Styx.
you're forever ahead of me, though.
Factory scouts are OP, by the way. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Yeah. No, I agree. They're like, hey, I'm here. I've got
They're actually
1250
HP.
HP.
Factories can do, so don't hate on factory scouts.
Well, we got Buffalo doing a double drop inside the main. Meanwhile, some of these Marines going to try and push up, but they get caught. Beautiful catch there. Not really enough to actually kill off too many Marines. Oh, I suppose he's got 800 sentries there.
Yeah, I like the decision, but by Beast, but his execution was pretty rough. Like he should have focused those stalkers down and just immediately gotten out with those medevacs. He didn't need to lose all those guys.
Yep.
And, the other ones at the 3rd, he could have just, forced some force fields out and ran away. But now that he's lost that army, he's actually pretty fiercely on the back foot. And he has to be really careful. Like he's just not going to be able to apply any pressure at this point.
These stalkers are very determined.
Yeah, if he had killed a bunch of sentries, I would have said that engagement went well for him, for Beast, but I don't think it was awful for him. I think it was like a relatively okay trade. Like he killed a lot of the army and still has, at least some army back at home. But if he had gotten those sentries, he would have been in good shape.
I think it was really bad for him, because you have to remember that that at this point, like Beast's tech is not going to get any better. His 3rd is on par with, because he canceled the 3rd of Styx. Like his 3rd is on par with that. But Styx, if Styx was made of testicles right now, he would be taking a 4th as well at the same time, because he should know that the Terran player really isn't going to be able to stop that. He's just not going to be able to attack him. I do like the decision to continue to drop though for Beast. And that's a hard decision to make at this point, because if the Protoss player felt like doing it, he, instead of rebuilding that Nexus, he could just all in on 2 base. And if you get caught with no bunkers like Beast is right now, then you'll actually just lose the game. So
I think, yeah, because Buffalo Beast is actually scanned and saw that the army was sitting there, so I think that's why he's okay with no bunkers just for the moment, and is now happy to do this attack as well. Like he's got double-pronged medevac coming through, got some at the top, some at the bottom. I think it'd be, what do you reckon, it'd be better to sort of wait with these guys at the top, like they actually just got spotted, but it'd be sort of a bit better to attack at the same time. I mean, that secondary drop down the bottom is way behind schedule.
Yeah, it it would definitely be better to do that, but it's not necessarily a horrible thing. Like at this point, especially in these positions, these three bases are so compact in a tight area. It's going to be really hard to fit a drop in anywhere. So it doesn't really matter if they're not going off at the same time. Like, oh, that's a good snipe on the Twilight. Oh, if he gets that Templar Archives, that'll be huge.
Oh, he's going for it. He
Oh,
has
alright,
got it.
That is massive and potentially game-ending, actually.
Worth the
Yeah, that is
units?
such a good
Because he's no doubt going to
Yeah.
lose all of these.
Yeah, I think
He should have just gotten that drop out of there, man. He shouldn't be losing his army right now. He wants to get that
I
drop
think
out
we'll-
of there and immediately just attack.
yeah. At least if he trades for stalkers, I think then it's fine. If he saves the medevacs and trades his marauders for stalkers, I think that's fine.
See, I
Along
disagree,
with killing
because
the Templar.
there aren't many stalkers, but he doesn't need stalkers right now. He doesn't need stalkers at all. He's not getting Colossus, so like the fact that Beast has these Vikings doesn't matter at all. He's losing medevacs and weakening his army at a time where, like, if you stop like a storm from being upgraded, like you kill a console, that Protoss player is fucked. Like he is
Yeah.
just screwed until that comes back up. Like you can just have your way with him right now. So
Yep.
I don't like the decision to lose the drop. I think anytime you lose the drop as Terran, if you're doing this kind of style, you're just kind of digging your own grave. So
I think especially
think
the
of how much
medevacs
more
as
powerful
well.
this move out would be right now. This is still a strong army, but think of how strong it would be with another 12 units that he lost just to trade for a couple stalkers.
Yeah,
I think
I
it's
think it would be
it's-
stronger if he was taking another command center right now too. I'm not.
Definitely.
I think
He needs to
really
be
needs
getting
to
a
take
4th,
another-
and he needs to be getting ghosts.
Mm.
Those are two things.
Yeah.
He's he was actually quite far behind on the orbital down at the third. Like that was actually way behind. He was when he was doing the drop and killing the Twilight Council and everything, and getting the forges now as well. So he
I
was a
don't
little
like
bit
moving
behind.
this far into the natural, though. You're just trapping yourself against charge lots.
Yep. And there we go. What a wall of force fields here from Styx. That was beautiful.
It just does so much damage, though.
Yep.
He should be target firing the sentries at this point, because he's gonna lose all this stuff anyway. Yeah. So, I would have much rather seen him instead of committing into that natural, getting the forges, sure, but then back out a little bit. Because what happens if you do that is you force the Protoss player to try to chase a much more mobile army between the third and the natural for the rest of the game, and then you have the opportunity to drop the main, drop that fourth, do a lot of stuff like that. So I think Beast is sort of shooting himself in the foot here. He's just overcommitting to this stuff when he could just be kind of feinting in, doing some damage, backing up.
I think he's just a tiny bit behind on his macro as well. Like, not saying he's just totally losing the game because of his macro, but as I said, this that third base was late. He's missing a couple of SCVs in one of the gas. Obviously, he's doing a bio style, so gas doesn't matter as much. But if he wants to switch into the ghosts, then obviously the ghosts do cost a bit of gas, so he needs to make sure that everything's on top of it. And looks as if these three extra racks are perhaps a tiny bit late as well. But now with ghosts moving into the mix, this is going to get a little bit better for him.
The ghosts are absolutely essential. Are going to help a lot here, but he has put himself at a disadvantage with his macro, because what's happened is a Protoss player is now on 4 bases without the Terran player being at a significant advantage. So that Terran player is just not in a good position.
Yeah, if his command center had gone up during that attack and it was getting mined from right now, I think he'd be in a pretty good spot. But since it's not, like, his natural's about to mine out, his main's about to mine out, like, he's gonna be on 1 base really soon, and yeah, and Protoss will be mining from pretty much 2.5 bases, so
Yeah,
yeah,
just
it's
look how
kind
much
of in a tough
weaker
spot
this
economically.
attack is now that he's moving out with. It's just not.
Yeah.
It's just not enough damage to chew through charge lots in time to really mount an effective fight.
And those ghosts were way late on the EMPs as well. Archon's still with a lot of shields available. Yeah, he got one of the Archons and that was it. Now the rest of this is going to go down. We got feedbacks. Stalker's picking off the rest of it. And that is Buffalo just saying, alright, I'm done with these units.
Oh, he has these drops that he could have been doing damage with the entire time. But it's it takes a special kind of Terran player to be stutter stepping like that and doing damage with drops.
Yeah.
This feedbacks.
Yeah, they were brilliant. A special kind of Terran,
games
aka
as a Terran
MVP.
player, you just go mech next game because you're just sick of losing all your bio units and things like this.
Yeah, well, I mean, he made a lot of mistakes, though. So.
Oh, he made a lot of very small mistakes, and that's what it takes, you know, to turn the tide of a game at this level. So.
Oh dear.
It's unfortunate that
He's-
you can. Oh god, the Archons.
Because right now he's way ahead in upgrades. And, like,
He is.
He could be in a really good position, but like he just didn't expand like at the right times or fast enough. I don't
No,
think.
not at all. And the thing about an upgrade advantage when you're playing bio is you need enough units to kill all that Protoss stuff quickly. You can't having an upgrade advantage and going bio. If you're down supply at all, it just doesn't matter at all. You might as well just not even try to fight the army. And even if you're equal supply, like you just have to have so many units that you blast down that zealot wave quickly enough to make a difference in the fight. And since Beast has lost those drops in the beginning, he just has not had enough stuff this entire game. So
I've really liked Styx's
that is so
Styx's
awesome.
control as well. Yeah, like you just saw it there. Like he's just now moving. He moved all the Archons and the Immortals in front. We got the Templar just slowly lagging behind, and the Blinkstalker's blinky inside, getting a bit adventurous, you could probably say.
That was a great blink. It surrounded and killed all those ghosts immediately, so that was huge. So any chance Beast had during that fight, just that ended it right there.
So do
Oh,
these
God,
storms. Wow. Just a few storms being thrown out here by EPI Styx, and Buffalo has had his. That's it. He's had it.
Buffalo, man her up. At least call the GG.
He's a little mad.
It's games like that as a Terran player, like when you see Jinro spam fuck Protoss on Twitter, like you understand that feel, man.
So what do we take from this? From Buffalo's point of view? What do you reckon?
It's very important if you're going for a drop style to not overcommit and lose your stuff. You have to retain that advantage throughout the game. So you have to be very careful. And remember that like once you kill the harassment, it's no longer something the Protoss player has to worry about. So the most effective harassment is the harassment that stays alive.
Yeah.
Also it goes quicker.
On the flip side of that, though, if you do end up losing your drops and like trading effectively, I think you need to expand behind it, because if you're trading down an army, you know, making their army small while they're trying to expand, they're not really likely to attack you, and that's when you need to start expanding and like getting your economy better. Like I really think that the Terran player could have won that game if he had expanded a little more aggressively while doing all those drops, especially on Tal'Darim, man, because it's you have to like sit at home and defend for so long if you're going for 3 bases, that as Terran you should be expanding a lot more aggressively.
Yeah, that's a really important point. And part of the reason you can afford to not lose your drops gunning for tech or things like that is because what a strong drop play in the mid game really does is it forces that Protoss player to just sit in his base, so you can just freely take bases across the map. And
a lot like
if
Muta
I had
Harass,
to
really.
Yeah, a lot like that. If I had to give any advice to like a Terran player out there that goes bio in this matchup, would be that just take really risky expansions once you stop dropping. Or once you start dropping, rather, because like how is that Protoss player going to punish you?
With drops
Like, how
of
is he
their
gonna
own,
be able
but
to
nobody
afford-
does that.
Yeah, with drops of his own, but you can defend that.
And for Styx,
just
I
think about that. You know, it's
sorry, go.
I would just say like the general rule of thumb I have, if I have no idea what I'm doing as far as expansion timings, is as soon as I start dropping, I take a command center. And if it's successful, then I just take another command center. Because if I lose medevacs, lose drops, that's when I decide not to take the command center. Because I know that Protoss player can just run over the map and just kill me. But as long as I'm not losing my medevacs, just keep expanding behind those drops.
Yep.
I like the that one gate expand from sticks. It's really good. Puts a lot of pressure on. Like we saw a lot of pressure with those stalkers, and then sort of transitioning across. Like we had to had to rebuild the Twilight Council after losing it to that drop. But
that was so bad.
yeah, that was really unfortunate. That drop just sort of came in at that angle, and he's like, "Okay, stim up, bam, Marauders, laters," and yeah. But then I like. He had to rebuild, like he built it in a different spot, which is nice. Like one thing which I've heard Artosis mention, and so far from my sort of very tiny limited experience on the Korean server, that's one thing which you pick up if you play there, is that your tech, you have to be really careful with your tech, because obviously the Korean players, especially the Terrans, are really good with their micro, and if they do a drop, you're guaranteed to lose tech if you're not careful with where you've placed it. So yeah, like, so that's a couple of things to bear in mind. Obviously, this is a totally different situation, but I like the double forge, which eventually came in and gave these Archons and the Zealots at the front nice tanking with the Protoss armor at level 3 pretty quickly.
Yeah, and if there's one thing we can sort of get out of both these games, is both players that won did a very good job of being very patient and just turning that into an advantage. Like, in the Zerg game, he was just very patient, just defended the mutas very carefully, got infestors, and then just sort of slowly fought his way back into this. In this game, despite losing a lot of tech and things like that, Styx understood that since he'd killed the drops, he could do things like take that quick third back, take a quick fourth, and as soon as he killed the army, he just knew he was in the driving seat of this game.
Yep.
Be patient. Just because you lost something important doesn't mean the game is over.
Alright. Well, we've been going for an hour. I've got to have dinner shortly. As we've mentioned, for the folks in chat or watching the VOD, if you want to send in your own replay, please feel free. Let me know on Twitter or send something through to duckvillelol@gmail.com. And we can have a look. You don't have to be total Masters player or anything like that. We're happy to sort of look a little bit more in depth and just sort of have a look at some things, and obviously just sort of occupy some time while there's no GSL. Just having a look at what else is on now. Having a look at Team Liquid. I think there's actually nothing else on until tomorrow. No, there's nothing else on. Last week we had the, what was it? It was the FXO invitational thingy, so that was good for everyone to go to. But yeah, so for tonight, everyone will have to jump on ladder or something like that. You dudes, you want to say shout outs or anything like that, or any final comments?
Just the usual, I guess. Follow me on Twitter. Protoss is bullshit late game. No, yeah, follow me on Twitter. I like to do things like this, and send us some replays. Think of it like free coaching, man. It's always, I think it's always fun, especially even with like a really low level replay, to sort of like break it down, kind of explain the concepts, things like that. So, you know, don't be afraid to send us a replay.
For sure.
Omerta?
Yeah, just Duckville's got my Twitter up there. Just throw me a follow. And me and Wiggin like to stream some League of Legends shenanigans if any of you guys are into that. And I'm gonna start streaming a lot more StarCraft very soon as well. So
Damn right.
yeah, so look on Twitter, post when streams go up and such.
Cool. Alright, with that, we'll sign out. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you let us know on Twitter what you think, like if you want to see more of something, if you want to see less of something, what you think of my suit coat, what you think of me in the suit coat doing some StarCraft related things. You might see it a bit